Hello, guys, and welcome to another One Stop Wrestling podcast. This week, as always, I'm your host, Alex, and as always, I'm joined by Rohit. And this week, making his return to the show, Craig. Gentlemen, how are you this evening?
I'm all good. How's everyone else? And welcome back, Craig. It's been a while.
Yeah, still can't find that shovel. It's somewhere.
We're not going to spend this episode talking about Triple H, unfortunately, Craig.
Do you want a bit?
I think he needs to make a separate podcast, Triple H special, something.
He's going to get him in there somewhere today, isn't he?
I mean,
So
considering the topic, yeah.
yeah. So this week our topic is going to be Jade Cargill. Obviously, the big news coming to WWE. But first, I'm just going to touch on some breaking news that's happened in the past couple of hours, and that is that Edge will be a free agent come this Saturday. His contract has come to an end with WWE. He's been removed from the WWE roster, and pretty much all the reports are saying that he may debut at AEW Wrestle Dream this weekend. So just wanted to obviously break that one. It's quite big news. So what did you think of that one, guys, real quick, before we get started with the main show?
Go jump off a bridge.
I mean, if this is what Tony Khan meant for New Era, I guess we're in for a rated R, but I guess he can't use that, so maybe, I don't know, rated E for Edge? I don't know. But I guess he wouldn't be called Edge either. He'd be called Adam Copeland, probably.
It's not going to be rated E for everyone because not everyone watches AEW. Throwing that out.
True. I mean, I guess he would be Adam Copeland, wouldn't he? Unless, I don't know, they call him Edge Cage or something like that. What was his previous independent name? Saxton Hardcastle.
Saxton Hardcastle, yeah.
Yeah. That would be so weird if they go with Saxton Hardcastle. But...
Look, I don't know about you two, but
Mhm.
I do not want to see Edge outside of WWE. Edge, to me, is a WWE lifer.
Mhm.
I'm going to be very upset if I see Edge wrestle anywhere else.
Right.
Positive takes as ever, Craig. So
I mean, come on. Like, since 1997, Edge has been a WWE guy. He should be finishing his career in WWE.
Oh,
No.
okay, let's just take AEW out of it. Let's just imagine he went somewhere else. Like, would
No.
that be more acceptable? Or no.
No,
Okay.
nowhere but a
Interesting.
WWE ring. Nowhere,
Right.
absolutely not Impact, not
Right.
New Japan Pro Wrestling, not Progress, not Pro Wrestling Noah, not GCW, not JCW, not nowhere.
Do you know what? Part of me actually agrees with you. I don't think I'm struggling to see how he carries on his legacy at AEW in a really positive way, knowing their history with booking ex WWE guys. I mean, John Moxley's done well, hasn't he? And Chris Jericho, but
He's got nothing to
you're
prove.
forgetting Christian. He's doing well, isn't he? He's a perfect role model right now.
How's everybody's dad tonight?
Pain in the backside, probably as usual, but we move on. But yeah, honestly, I do agree with the sentiment that you're saying. But again, he's his own man. If that's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And I think he wants probably, I don't know, to test the waters, because if it's gonna be his last, I don't know, 1 year, 2 year, whatever it's gonna be, maybe he wants to do something else. And I think him and Christian have that history. Maybe he wants to finish up something with Christian, and then, maybe he'll come back to WWE for like a couple of months and then call it there. But nothing's for sure, I assume. But seems ever more likely, doesn't it?
No, not in the year 2023 when it comes to professional wrestling. It's a bit of a peculiar world we live in.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, for sure. But again, I'm positive a little bit, but also like you said, with the way booking's going and like what decisions, I don't know, TK or whoever his team or whoever does the booking in a sense. Some things are a bit weird, but yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see, I guess.
I think we'll have to wait and see. But it does, all reports do seem to go in the direction of he is going to be joining AEW, which is pretty big news, really.
Could we have a heel faction of like, I don't know, like Edge, Christian, Jeff Jarrett, and Chris Jericho all in one faction? Just to see what happens.
You're going to
I
make
think that'd be
Craig's
quite
brain
funny.
explode.
I mean, what
But-
if we add Triple H in the mix?
Eh,
And that softens the blow, at least for Craig, I guess, if that was to happen.
yeah, but this show we're going to be talking about mainly Jade Cargill. We're
Yeah.
going to be talking about what is this? I believe it's the second AEW to WWE switch. The first one being Cody, unless I'm missing someone, guys.
Brian
Fourth.
Pillman Jr., I guess, but I don't know if he's debuted. I've just read he's going to be in NXT, but I don't know.
it's the fourth.
Oh, well, shows what I know, doesn't it?
Who's,
Wait,
who's the other one?
So we have Brian Pillman Jr.,
Yep.
Jade Cargill, Cody Rhodes. Who's going to get the fourth one?
I have no idea.
Fourth one.
Blair
I don't.
Davenport.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that.
No.
Formerly known as Bea Priestley.
Oh, yeah.
I'll beat
I
Priestley.
forgot she was
During
honestly
the-
there, to
the
be
COVID.
honest.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about her. I remember her in
forgot
AEW, but yeah.
Yeah, I forgot she was there. That makes sense. I thought she already got released somehow, but yeah,
She's doing very well in NXT.
that's good. I mean, if she's there, I think at some point when they got that Becky Lynch NXT title thing done, she should at some point get the title and just let her run with it, hopefully. But WWE do their own thing, really, isn't it?
So yeah, I mean, Jade, to me, this is a massive signing. I know she's got her haters. Like, we've been having comments on our Facebook page. Oh, Jade can't wrestle. Jade's green. Jade shouldn't be there. This, that, and the other. I understand why some people say that, but at the same time, this woman could be a huge, huge star in WWE. She has the perfect look. She has the sort of aura and stature, and it's sort of the exact kind of person that WWE love to make into a star. And I think this is a great move for her career. And I think it's really big news because, like, you know, it hasn't happened often, as we've said 4 times. And Jade, to me, is a really, really big name. And obviously, big news her going to WWE. So today, we're going to have a go at fantasy booking, her sort of first few months up to a year, maybe, in WWE. Seeing if we can, you know, do a good job with it, because she is still quite green as a wrestler, so she is going to need to be handled right. So we're each going to have a go today doing that. So where do we start? Let's start, because he's back. Let's start with Craig. Come on. How would you book Jade Cargill in WWE?
So,
Get buried by Triple H? Question mark.
so if I'm Triple H,
Okay.
I am putting my shovel in the cupboard for the winter.
Ooh.
First time for everything.
Yeah. I am not having Jade Cargill on TV. I'm not mentioning Jade Cargill for at least the next 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Okay.
I'm having Jade Cargill in the PC Center training every single day. And on the first Monday Night Raw of 2024, I announced Jade for the Royal Rumble. I don't mention it again. I have Jade Cargill come in the Royal Rumble at number 30 and eliminate Charlotte Flair. I then, 2 weeks later, I have Jade Cargill come in the Royal Rumble at number 31 and eliminate Charlotte Flair. I then, 2 weeks later, I have Jade Cargill come in the Royal Rumble at number 32 and eliminate Charlotte Flair. I then, 2 weeks later, I have Jade Cargill come in the Royal Rumble at number 33 and eliminate Charlotte Flair. I then, 2 weeks later, I have Jade Cargill come in the Royal Rumble at number 34 and eliminate Charlotte Flair. I then, 2 weeks later, I have Jade Cargill come in the Royal Rumble at number 35 and eliminate Charlotte Flair. I then, 2 weeks later, I have Jade Cargill come in the Royal Rumble at number 36 and eliminate Charlotte Flair. I then, 2 weeks later, I have Jade Cargill come in the Royal Rumble at number 37 and eliminate Charlotte Flair. I then, 2 weeks later, I have Jade Cargill come in the Royal Rumble at number 38 have Charlotte Flair win the SmackDown Women's Championship, Flair versus Cargill, and then which is just a pure money match at WrestleMania. Have Cargill destroy Flair in her debut match. The Monday night after Raw, Bianca Belair turns up to challenge Cargill, which can give you a 5 month feud going into SummerSlam. And it will instantly make Cargill the biggest women's star in the company.
So you're saying Jade wins the Royal Rumble match, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, listen, like, we can all fantasy book everything here to our heart's content, but Triple H and the WWE have an opportunity to send a message to the AEW roster of, look what we can do for you. We can take you and we can make you a star. We don't need you. You need us.
If they
And
do that, they would have learned their lesson with Sting, didn't they?
Sting was never going to work. Sting was, unfortunately, as much as we all love Sting, he was a WCW guy. He was WCW. Vince was always going to use Sting to send a message.
No, I get that, but with the idea of how Booker T wasn't really used and how Sting didn't like that initially, how Booker T was used, where if they do right with Jade, they can be like what you said. Oh, look, you need us. We can make you into a star. You can earn a lot more money, blah, blah, blah. Whereas
then,
we don't need you.
Because then, like, if they use this to send a message to the AEW roster, what happens with a Ricky Starks? What happens with an MJF?
A lot of contracts off both sides in 2024. Will be interesting to see what happens.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. And they've kind of done that already with Cody. Like, he came back, first night there, big WrestleMania match. You know, Hell in a Cell match with one of the biggest stars in the company. He's injured, then he comes back and wins the Royal Rumble. Then he headlines WrestleMania against arguably the biggest star in the entire wrestling world. Like, he did all that within a year of being there. And to me, on my personal opinion, is that if you are a wrestler, surely the dream, no matter where you are, is to headline WrestleMania at some point. To me, that is the be all and end all of professional wrestling.
Yes, until AEW can put out an equivalent to WrestleMania, you're absolutely 100% right, and I 100% agree with you. I don't know how AEW reaches that level. I don't see it happening in the next 5 to 10 years.
It's going to take a long time, I think, yeah.
Because WrestleMania has 40 years of history as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, Bound for Glory has never reached that level. I know Impact's a lot smaller, but yeah. So it's going to take a long time, I think. You're right.
Let's be honest. No wrestling company is ever going to run an event the size of WrestleMania. It's not happening.
Like, do you mean everything around WrestleMania, or do you just mean
everything around the whole WrestleMania?
I agree.
The whole WrestleMania.
That makes sense, yeah. Because if you just said the attendance, then I'm like, all in just happened. But if you're talking about the whole spectacle, everything surrounded with access and all that flair and sparkling lights, then 100%.
So if you are an MJF, are you thinking I could headline WrestleMania in the next couple of years? You know, if he, like you said, Craig, if he does see Jade becoming an instant star.
It's not just that. Like, let's be honest, MJF has desires to go to Hollywood. How does MJF get to Hollywood?
By beating LA Knight.
What's wrong with you? Why have I come back? Why I don't do this show? No, the quickest way for any wrestler in the business to go to Hollywood is through WWE. WWE can make you a household name.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And AEW have again, in my opinion,
0.
people could disagree with me. Yeah, they haven't made any stars. Their biggest stars, I mean, you could argue MJF is a fairly big star, but apart from that, like their stars are guys that have been done it, like Jericho,
Pretty much
Danielson,
Jericho, yeah.
Moxley, you know, guys that have become stars in other companies before. Like
Yeah.
their homegrown people are not stars.
I tell you what, until your mum and dad, until your brother and sister, your cousins, your uncle, and your aunt can tell you who MJF is, he is not a star.
Yeah, I know you have this thing
Mhm.
against him. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I wouldn't say he's like a bona fide star, but he's definitely on his way.
Look, that goes
Yeah.
for anybody. Like, the only stars in wrestling since the 80s has been Hogan, The Rock, Austin, Taker, Cena, Batista.
And now Roman Reigns.
He's getting there.
Not
I
Punk?
don't think Roman's there.
What
I
about
think
Punk?
he's there.
He's almost there until he takes the leap to Hollywood and
Right.
becomes like a complete household name.
But that's the
Damn.
thing, isn't it? It's the drawing power. It's you put these names in and instantly all these random casual fans come back. Oh, it's The Rock. I know this guy. He's a Hollywood star. Let's watch this. It's that
Yeah.
kind of
Exactly.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, good idea, Craig. I mean, I'll go next because the first bit of yours is pretty much exactly the same as mine, and mine is start her off for the first 2-3 months in the performance center. I don't want any appearances on NXT to break her in. I don't want anyone seeing her. I want her training her ass off because, in my opinion, she is a little bit green. She could do with honing her ring skills a bit more. I want her in there with Matt Bloom, with Shawn Michaels. I want her getting advice off everyone. I want her asking veterans, what can I do here? I want her in the performance center with people like Natalia, teaching her, you know, do this. So her in-ring skill is at a higher level than what it was in AEW, and she feels more comfortable in the ring. She feels more confident. She can think to herself, I can go out there and I can have a decent match with this person, this person. So the first couple of months, exactly like you, Craig, is going to be spent in the performance center. I am going to have her debut at the Royal Rumble match itself. I haven't really thought about whether you announce it before or not. I mean, you could, because obviously it's quite a big deal. I mean, I think the best way to go really is a video package. Video packages leading up to the Rumble, because the WWE production team is so good at video packages. That's one thing they get right on a consistent basis. Their video packages are brilliant. They could make a great video package of Jade, building her up, telling everybody she could be this mega star. She's this, she's that. Really selling her to fans that may have never watched AEW, thinking, who is this? And the production team do a great job of doing that. So yeah, I would say make a few videos en route to the Royal Rumble saying she is going to appear. Now I would have her appear quite early in the match, going a bit different to you here, Craig. And I would have her essentially just go on an absolute tear throughout the match. So she scores the record for the most eliminations in the match. She has one point in the match where she just dumps everybody and is just in the ring on her own. I would have her debut as a heel as well, because she's just got that look and that aura and demeanor. I don't think she'd work as a babyface to start with. And I wouldn't have her win the match. I'd have her get eliminated towards the end, one of those situations where like 4 or 5 girls hit their finish on her, and I would have Becky Lynch throw her out, which sets up the WrestleMania feud I would book for Jade against Becky Lynch. So that match is essentially just going to be a almost like a trial as such for Jade. Like, you know, can you go on the biggest stage of them all against arguably the best worker in the women's division? And hopefully with all the training and everything, Jade is just going to come through that match absolutely shining. She's going to beat Becky. She's going to it's going to be like an even match, but Jade ultimately just outpowers her and just sort of dominates her towards the end. And the whole roster is put on notice. Jade's just beaten one of the biggest stars in the company at WrestleMania. And then from there, I would have Rhea Ripley hold on to the belt all the way through Mania, because right now there isn't anyone else that can take it off her. And I would probably have her hold it all the way to SummerSlam next year. And I would have Jade be the one to beat Rhea at SummerSlam next year. You could do this big, like, you know, hoss match between the two absolute powerhouses of the women's division. And Jade ultimately becomes the champion there. That's how I would do it.
I mean, all good ideas. I mean, this is why I love fantasy booking. I don't think, for me personally, I don't have Jade anywhere near Becky Lynch. It's got to be someone like Rhea Ripley, Zoe Stark, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair.
I guess my thinking is that Becky is the biggest star in the women's division. I mean, she's close with Charlotte, but I think as a name, as an overall presence, as an overall competitor, the casual fans, to me, Becky's the biggest star in the women's division. She's one of the biggest stars in the whole company, in my opinion. So that's what I've gone with, the star power of Becky to elevate Jade.
I think like we can get that with Charlotte as well. There's so many options to play this, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be so interesting.
So, Rohit, we'll save the best for last.
I don't know if it's the best, but I'll give it a go.
Go on, give it a go.
So I do agree. She is a bit green, so she needs some time in the performance center for sure. But I don't think she's as bad as people said, but she isn't great either. She's like needs a work basically. But yeah, so
are you
again,
on drugs?
no, from what I've seen, which is very limited, she's okay. But
Craig and I
needs
had
a lot of work.
Craig and I had this argument the other day by text, and
It
I
wasn't
agree
an
with
argument,
you,
it was me
Rohit.
telling him.
I don't think she's all there in the ring.
For sure.
Craig seems to think that she's like the Ric Flair of women's wrestling. Could just
I
wrestle
didn't say
broomstick
that. I said that she has so much talent. She just needs reps.
For sure.
Like, she's in the ring. She can't do like a hammer lock. She doesn't know how to run. I'm like, oh, shut up.
No, she knows the basics. It's just
it doesn't
reps.
look smooth.
She just needs reps.
No, it doesn't look smooth, and it's the intricacies of wrestling that she needs to get down first.
Yeah, that's for sure. So again, I agree with you, but with that regard, so she definitely needs some time in the performance center. And I feel like it depends what route you want to go with, but I feel like the best route, in my opinion, is that have her come in like a dominant force. So Becky Lynch has the NXT title, and she's just like basically antagonizing all these women to be hungry, to step up to her, and really challenge her, like with Tegan Knox and Tyler recently. So she'll go carry on for a few months while Jade gets ready in the performance center, and then out of nowhere, Jade will just step up, like a surprise step up debut, challenge Becky Lynch, destroy her, just run through Becky Lynch, becomes the NXT champion, heads into the Rumble as NXT champion, and again, you could either have a win and go to WrestleMania that way, or which I prefer is have someone like a Charlotte, have someone like maybe a Rhea Ripley, or someone like that eliminate her. So I would say go with Charlotte. I think that's more of a safer bet, and have Rhea Ripley hang on to the title. and have Charlotte eliminate her. Then Charlotte goes down to NXT again, beats her for the NXT title, right? So Jade Cargill will be like, what am I going to do next? She gets revenge on Charlotte because Charlotte's going to become SmackDown champion at the same time. So she's going to be a double champion. Then at Mania, Jade and Charlotte's going to have like the big showdown from her rivalry for both belts. And then, yeah, Jade's just going to beat her and become champions of both brands, really. And that's how far as I thought, really.
I think it's difficult, isn't it, to pick her WrestleMania opponent, because
Yeah.
obviously the names you think of immediately are like Charlotte, Becky, Rhea, like the big stars.
Yeah.
I think it depends, because like the way I went with it was I want her to prove to everybody that she can have a really, really good wrestling match on
For
the
sure.
biggest show of the year. I want her to prove her haters wrong. I'm not saying she can't do that with Charlotte, but I feel like Charlotte's more of a like big match sort of competitor in terms of like she doesn't sort of get that mat wrestling, that technical wrestling.
You want her as against the technical,
yeah, more of a technical worker like Becky, where so she can just shut the haters up straight away and say, look, I can work and I'm really bloody good at this.
I wouldn't mind her facing like a Io Sky or like a Asuka, but with Asuka, I don't want to see her lose another Mania match.
I don't. Those would be nice as matches, but I don't think those names are big enough.
Yeah, of course.
Jade.
Not at Mania, but I'm just throwing examples out there. But that makes sense. Yeah.
I think like for the whole Jade Cargill, the first 12 months, the biggest factor is going to be. Oh my god, this did not work as well as I thought it was going to. It's going to be Triple H and Triple H.
Fuck's sake.
Because, you know, like, this is Triple H's time to shine, make a star.
Yes,
and
that is
would be
Triple H's
Alex's
music for
Tiffany.
anyone who can't hear.
I'm never coming back on this show.
Well, we don't want you back if you're going to do things like that. Triple H, we said this was a Triple H free show. Did you have to do it?
I think I own One Stop Wrestling. I can do what I want. I'm coming on next week in a do-rag.
You've got no chance, did it?
I think like 1 week I'm just going to come on halfway through the show with no chance playing. I think Rohit's nailed it.
No,
Can you start announcing releases from One Stop Wrestling?
I see
like 6 months no compete clauses for other podcasts.
I think you're right though. Because Triple H is obviously like he still appears to be the head booker, so it's how well he can handle her. I think like almost like we always slag off Vince these days, and rightly so. His bookings become awful, I think, but like this is almost like a Vince McMahon wet dream because of her look and like her size, her stature, all of that stuff. Like it's almost like she'd be perfect for Vince to book.
Yeah, but it depends at what cost. If he's gonna book her at the expense of like Rhea Ripley, then it's wrong, I would say. So
I don't know if it's going to be wrong. It just needs to be done right. It doesn't. If it happens inside the first 3 months, then I agree with you, Rohit.
Yeah.
If it's 2 years down the line and they're two of the biggest stars, one has to win, one has to lose in the right way.
I agree with that. Yeah, if it's later down the road, sure. If it's like between now and I don't know this WrestleMania, then no, that's wrong. I feel like, but yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, in my opinion, there's no doubt that Jade could be an absolute megastar in WWE, despite some of the hate she's been getting about her work and everything. She has literally everything to
Yeah.
be a huge, huge star. So I mean, we'll have to see really what they do with her. I mean, who do you think they're going to put as a WrestleMania opponent in
Charlotte.
Greece? What'd you say, Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Yeah,
I think Charlotte might be the one because she at the moment hasn't got really anything to lose. Plus, it's something fresh and
Let's see
based on
Charlotte put
social
someone
media.
over.
Yeah, based on social media, I think they have had some interaction, like nice friendly interaction. So that
yeah,
could
it does
lead
seem
into it.
like the obvious choice, doesn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
they're almost quite similar in stature as well. It would it's kind of really appealing to
yeah,
have that match. Yeah.
yeah. Rhea
Here's an
Ripley is gonna
interesting one
defend the
for you
title.
before we wrap up.
Mhm.
Would anybody put Jade Cargill with Trish Stratus?
She'd have to
Oh.
absolutely destroy her, I think, if you
No.
do that.
No. Do you
Oh.
put her with Trish Stratus the same way you had Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark?
Oh,
You mean as a duo, like with Trish
Yes,
as a manager?
as Jade's mouthpiece. Have Jade as the heavy.
No, I wouldn't, because that takes the shine off of Jade a little bit. I mean, I see where you're going, because
yeah.
she may be like
It
a bit
protects her.
green to the sort of WWE style of promo, but I want the spotlight completely on Jade.
Yeah. I mean, it depends how long, and it depends how they do it. If they do it more like a Diesel Shawn Michaels, it could work, but it's a tricky one. I
Yeah.
I'm sure that was Triple H's idea to put them two together.
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst, but I don't know if it would be. It depends how it's executed. I think if they just have her be the lackey, the heavy, then like without like a personality, without like her own kind of like story, I guess, or input, then I don't think it would be good. But if they like have where she does do something, you can see a character shine through that
Yeah,
alongside Trish, then maybe it could work.
I would like that to be like a Brock Paul Heyman kind of pairing, if that was to happen.
Yeah, something like that more than what
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Trish
mind
did.
seeing her with Paul Heyman either.
That'd be awesome.
That would be interesting because Paul Heyman hasn't really like managed like a female star like to that level really, so that would be interesting.
No, and Heyman rules. Like everybody
Yeah.
that's with him is like look at the last three guys: Roman, Brock, Punk. Like three of the biggest names.
Could you imagine putting Jade Cargill with Paul Heyman, and then you could have like an inner feud on SmackDown where Roman's going, "You bitch, this is my show. Get me in the main event," and you can have Jade Cargill going, "Well, SmackDown's my show now," and you start to see tension between Heyman and the Bloodline. Who does Heyman see as the money?
I mean, that's a hell of a way to elevate her, isn't it? If you're putting her in alongside Roman Reigns and the Bloodline.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, WWE do not announce signings via ESPN. They do not announce signings through press releases. They do not show talent turning up to the PC Center on day one.
No.
This is a big deal.
It's huge.
Even if you do not agree, if you are not a Jade Cargill fan, if you just don't like Jade Cargill, or if you just want to be a troll, this is a big deal. This is the biggest signing in professional wrestling this year, and you can see that from the first day.
I completely agree with you. This is huge because of the potential there is with her. She could easily be a Hollywood star in the next 10, 15 years. It's huge.
She's clearly going to be Storm in the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
She wants it. She's outright said she wants to be Storm. So yeah, I can absolutely see her being Storm.
I mean, this for me also feels like a really, really, really bad loss for AEW.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is a bigger loss than Cody Rhodes money wise, because AEW did not see what they had from a money standpoint. They don't know how to make stars. They continue to book to their niche audience. they continue to listen to their niche audience.
Too much.
Sometimes way too much.
Yeah, they do.
And now they've lost potentially someone. Well, they've lost someone who could have built the women's division around for the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, completely agree. So, I mean, with that said, one final question: who do you think is going to be the next big star to make that switch from AEW to WWE?
Ricky Starks.
Could happen. Rohit?
Yeah, I think Ricky Starks. Yeah, do agree with that.
Yeah, I think him, or maybe MJF. I think both of those guys are kind of like made for WWE in a way. With their
MJF is
personalities.
going to go where the money is. Whoever throws the most money at MJF in January, that's where MJF is going.
Yeah, with MJF, I think AEW have to be a bit careful because if they can't time down, I think they need to work on someone else that can step into that spot soon. Rather
They
than
don't have
later,
anyone.
But that's been the issue, hasn't it? They haven't made anyone to do that. They need to
Yeah.
start doing
I
that,
mean-
really.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of stars, they do have people that can do that, but in terms of fresh faces that go into like the mainstream and beyond.
I'd sorry to interrupt. I'd probably throw Wardlow in the mix.
I was just thinking Wardlow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wardlow hasn't been used, has he?
And Starks has the connection with Cody as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's been spotted by his trailer multiple times apparently. So
Yeah,
I think Wardlow's too damaged in AEW now.
I completely agree.
I don't think you can actually save Wardlow's AEW career. It's been too stop.
What I do find interesting also is AEW don't really try and repackage anyone.
No,
At least not that far, because that could be an interesting turn to maybe potentially do something with Wardlow if they completely repackage him into something. I don't know what, but something.
They need to, like we said, they need to start booking to a wider audience, and they can avoid things like this. But
yeah,
I mean, that's one for the future. We'll have to see where all that goes.
maybe Tony Khan's just not interested in that, which is
He
I don't
loves
know
booking
why,
to his niche audience, doesn't he? And he
Yeah.
listens to, and it's great for that. It's great for them. He listens to the fans really, really well. But
yeah, I mean, I'm probably would fall into that niche audience, and I'm not fully on board with what they're doing. So
yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. We'll wrap it up there, guys. Who knows what might happen? It could be an interesting few years in professional wrestling with guys and girls moving to and from both companies.
yeah,
We'll have to see what happens with Edge. We'll have to see what happens with Jade in her first year in the company. So, yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Guys, don't forget to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Threads. You'll catch this episode on YouTube. As always, check out all our other
if I upload it.
Craig, thank you so much for coming on this week.
See you in 6 months.
An absolute pleasure to have you.
See you in 6 months. And
hopefully a year.
Alfonso, if you're not back on this show next week, it's future endeavours, son.
Yeah.
Rohit, thank you so much as always. Guys,
No
it's been
problem.
a pleasure. And we'll see you on the next one.
Take care, everyone. See you.
Ciao.